in the heart of New York, just 2 days before the election that will decide Israel's future. ZOA, 30 of the most powerful pro-Israel organizations are coming together in one unstoppable coalition. Slate number 15. Tonight, we're standing strong with the boldest voices for Israel, including Morton Klein, National President of the Zionist Organization of America, Rabbi Dunner, Beverly Hills Synagogue, Gabriel Boxer, the Kosher Guru, Valeria Chazen, Founder and Board Chair, Students Supporting Israel, Yaakov Haguel, Chairman of the WZO, Rachel Asroy, CEO of Pink Label, Ben Kogan, Founder and CEO, Basic Moving and Storage, community activist, and truly gifted musician. Over the past year and a half, we've seen the cost of hesitation, the impact of false peace, and the terror of October 7th. Jewish communities worldwide have been under attack, and Israel's survival has been on the line. Tonight, we fight for every Jew, every soldier, every inch of our land, because Israel's future depends on every single one of us. Vote for the ZOA Coalition, slate number 15, the strongest pro-Israel leadership, the only leadership that fights with no compromise. Now, let's welcome our host, Sid Rosenberg.
Good evening, my friends. What an incredible sight to see. So many proud, passionate supporters of Israel gathered together for this momentous pre-election rally. It's an absolute honor for me to stand before you tonight to lend my voice to a cause close to my heart and essential to the future of the Jewish people and our beloved state of Israel. This is history in the making, folks. You know, once every 5 years, American Jews have the rare and powerful opportunity to vote to make an impact that echoes far beyond our shores. I'm on the ZOA Coalition, and let me tell you, being on the ZOA Coalition, which includes more than 30 leading strongest pro-Israel organizations and so many incredible advocates for Israel, is a huge honor. Folks, for 128 years, from the very first World Zionist Congress, ZOA and then the ZOA Coalition have been on the front lines, fighting for Israel, defending the Jewish people, and ensuring that the truth is heard loud and clear. In a time when Israel faces challenges from all directions, on the battlefield, in the media, certainly on college campuses, and the halls of power, our voices matter now more than ever. We're here tonight because we refuse to be silent, because we know that this vote matters when it comes to supporting Israel and ensuring the safety and future of the Jewish people. Your vote for the ZOA Coalition, slate 15 in the upcoming World Zionist Congress elections, is a declaration that you are representatives with a proven history, not mere promises, broken so many times. ZOA Coalition initiated and obtained passage of virtually every positive resolution at the World Zionist Congress. And they're leading the charge at campuses, big problem, and courts and the media right here in the United States. ZOA Coalition will not back down and will continue to fight for Israel's security and its rightful sovereignty. You can count on it. When we vote for slate 15, when we unite as one voice, we will be unstoppable. So let's make tonight count. Let's all get fired up. Come on. Vote for the ZOA Coalition, slate number 15, when the voting starts early Monday morning, March the 10th, this Monday. Let's show the world that we stand for Zionism and with Israel today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you.
Israel stands at a crossroads.
The choices we make today will decide whether our children grow up in safety or in fear.
On October 7, 2023, the illusion of peace was shattered.
1,200 butchered.
250 hostages ripped from their homes.
What if you had the power to help make sure it never happens again?
What if you could build a future where we don't have to wonder if our children will be safe?
Now you can really help.
The ZOA Coalition, a united front of ZOA, endorsed by World Likud and 30 of the strongest pro-Israel organizations in the U.S., is running on slate number 15 in the World Zionist Congress elections.
For 128 years, the ZOA Coalition has fought for the Jewish people, Jewish students, global Jewish safety, and a strong Israel and Judea Samaria.
No excuses.
No compromise.
Founded in 1897, ZOA was America's first pro-Israel movement
And was at the very first World Zionist Congress launching the struggle to secure the Jewish homeland.
ZOA played a key role in securing international legal recognition of Jewish rights to the land of Israel after World War I.
We led emergency efforts during World War II and fought to ensure U.S. recognition of Israel within minutes of its founding.
אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל.
ZOA, our coalition partners, and World Likud don't bow.
We don't compromise.
We fight.
We opposed Oslo, the Gaza withdrawal.
We opposed the Iran deal.
We were right.
We stood alone, we never wavered.
No other slate can say this. There is no two-state solution. Only one strong Israel.
We led the fight to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, secure the Golan Heights,
and establish civil rights protections for Jewish students in America.
At the World Zionist Congress, nearly every major pro-Israel initiative, including the first anti-BDS resolution, was spearheaded by the ZOA Coalition.
The World Zionist Congress allocates $1.5 billion in funding every year.
And determines leadership of Israel's national institutions.
Your vote decides whether that money strengthens Israel or is directed towards policies that weaken it.
October 7 was the price of fantasy.
The cost of pretending terrorists could be partners.
When others hesitated, we acted.
In Israel's darkest hour, the ZOA Coalition delivered over $50 million in aid,
funding critical equipment for soldiers,
supporting families,
and fighting anti-Semitism on over 100 universities' campuses.
Free legal aid, pro-Israel events,
Jewish students standing strong,
unafraid.
In Congress and in courtrooms.
Today, we have a moment we can't waste.
A White House that stands with Israel.
Now more than ever.
We must fight for Israel's future.
The ZOA Coalition, 30 plus of the strongest pro-Israel organizations, won't back down.
Will secure a future where Israel is strong, safe, and sovereign over all of its land.
This is the moment. This is the fight.
Vote slate number 15. Vote for Israel.
הצביעו למען ארץ ישראל, למען עם ישראל. תנו לנו להמשיך לשמור על הערכים של ארץ ישראל.
Step up at voteforisrael.com.
help Israel and the Jewish people win.
Oh, I see.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Ay, 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 ve'od yoter tov, 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 ve'tamid yeh li rak tov. Ay, 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 עוד יותר טוב, ועוד 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 יותר טוב, ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. כלי אתה ועודך אלוהי ורוממך, כלי אתה ועודך אלוהי רוממך. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. כל עוד בלבב פנימה, נפש יהודי קוביה, ולפתי מזרח קדימה, עין לציון צופיה. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. Good evening, everyone. It's a very important cause that we gather together.
You have so much passion, Ben Kogan. You sang so well, you knocked your own yarmulke off your head.
Thank you for helping me up. And the same way, like yarmulke shows who I am, unapologetically, straightforward. This is our job. This is our duty. This is our fight to participate, take part, and I want to thank everybody who joined us today. And people ask me about the Congress, why is it important? Look, it's very simple. The defenders of Israel, the soldiers on the field, they protect Israel, they protect Jewish people, they fight our fight with their guns. And thank God, with enough ammunition right now. And this is their fight. We're here in the United States of America, can help them fight this fight, and our vote for the ZOA coalition. This is our fight for Israel and for Jewish people. Join our coalition, bring friends, vote, and make difference. Support our troops, and let the voice, the moral clarity voice of American Jewry be heard loud and clear in Israel, all over Israel, in Judea and Samaria, all over the land of Israel. Am Israel Chai.
For more than a century, the Zionist Organization of America has been fighting for a safer and stronger Israel while relentlessly securing Jewish communities worldwide. From here in the Knesset, I urge you to heed the call of these crucial times. Vote ZOA for the Zionist Congress.
Dear friends, please vote for ZOA Coalition Slate 15 for strong and united Israel, for Judea and Samaria. Don't forget, Slate 15, strong Israel, ZOA Coalition.
Dear friends, please vote for the ZOA Coalition Slate number 15 for a strong and united Israel. Thank you.
folks, welcome back to our ZOA rally, I should say. Don't forget, voting starts Monday morning, right after midnight, Sunday night into Monday morning. Vote, vote, vote. Get all your friends, your family, anybody who loves the Jewish people, who loves Israel like I do. Make sure they vote with us come Monday morning. Quick story about me. So I was always a very spiritual Jew, not the most religious guy in the place. But since October the 7th, I've become an animal. I've dedicated my life to the Jewish people and Israel. I go back now 3 times, 4 times a year. I'd never been before October the 7th. And I was asked to do this tonight. I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to host the #1 radio show across the country. Just ask President Trump. And I did this. No money. Just wanted to be here tonight and be a part of this because this is a special group. And again, if you love the Jewish people and you love Israel, you love ZOA. And this guy to my left, this is one of the strongest voices for Israel on the planet, certainly here in the United States. He's a man who's dedicated well over 30 years to defending the Jewish state and the Jewish people. He's a wonderful guy. His name is Morton Klein. He's the national president of the Zionist Organization of America. Mr. Klein has bravely led the ZOA following in the footsteps of many famous presidents before him, including Justice Louis Brandeis. Morton's leadership has been recognized on the world stage, including being only the Jewish leader honored at the 125th anniversary of the World Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland, for his outstanding efforts in helping and defending Israel and the Jewish people. Morton has long-term and deep relationships with many of those who are now in the most senior leaders in the United States. In fact, I met him at Bedminster, New Jersey this summer when President Trump spoke to a great group of Jewish people. Morton appeared in 2024 in a popular talk show with Mike Huckabee, who has since been nominated as U.S. Ambassador to Israel. Governor Mike Huckabee, who has spoken beautifully about Mort's unwavering commitment. And to be clear, given Governor Huckabee's nomination, he cannot make slate endorsements. So this video does not constitute a slate endorsement, but it is the great Mike Huckabee.
The ZOA is the premier organization of advocacy for the rights of Jews to live securely in their indigenous homeland of Israel. Please welcome the president of the ZOA, Morton Klein. Morton, so glad to have you here.
Great to be with you.
The horrific terrorist attack on the Jewish people of Israel has shaken the world, but yet we see these crazy things happening, especially on the most elite college campuses, where people act like they're supporting Hamas, and it's Israel's fault. This has to be troubling for you as a Jewish leader.
It is shocking, and one of the reasons this is happening, I believe, is that the students, the kids, and really many people in America do not know the truth of the Arab-Islamic war against Israel, the Jews, and the West. They believe that Israel stole this land from a sovereign Arab country called Palestine. There's never been an Arab country called Palestine. It was a region. In fact, Palestine is a Roman name. So the issue is not about land. It's not about statehood. It's about destroying Israel.
What a great interview. And Morton, first of all, Morton Klein, welcome. An honor to have you here. It was an honor to meet you this summer. You are a very well-dressed guy.
It's my only suit, and thank God it's a good one.
I did notice it was the same suit you're wearing with Mike Huckabee and the same tie.
I'm saving up. I'll get another one very soon.
In fact, I think it was the same suit you wore this summer at Bedminster.
Well, when you only have one suit, you'll keep seeing it repeatedly.
No, listen, you're a very, very strong voice. And if I can say this, because I'm friends with a lot of very, very important people, you're one of my heroes. And the work you do for ZOA is second to none. So tell us, what does the ZOA Coalition stand for?
First of all, before I begin, I have to let the audience know that I have Tourette syndrome. You may hear me making sounds I can't control, and possible facial tics I can't control. I've had it since age 5. Got it from my father, and I wanted to thank Dad for that issue. The ZOA stands for incredible strength, courage, commitment, and telling the truth about the Arab-Islamic war against the Jews and Israel and the West. We're the only ones who are fighting for the right of Jews to live in Judea and Samaria, our ancient Holy Land. Not a single other significant Jewish organization.
I want to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Because it's very important to me. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I do work with One Israel Fund. I know they're friends of yours too. And our main goal is to make sure that sovereignty in Judea and Samaria annexed. We know David Friedman wants that. I think President Trump wants that too. Do you think that's a realistic goal?
It's becoming more and more realistic. More people in Congress are now supporting that like never before. And ZOA is at the forefront of promoting sovereignty over not only Judea and Samaria, but of the Jordan Valley, to make it clear that no Palestinian state would ever be established, which would be a terrorist state. Again, ZOA is the only significant Jewish organization fighting against the establishment of a Palestinian terrorist state. After Gideon Sar spoke to the heads of the Jewish organizations only last week in Israel, he begged us to publicly come out in, opposing a Palestinian state. ZOA is the only one who's done so. I went to one organization after another after that meeting, begged them to come out publicly opposing a state. They said, we can't do it. It's too controversial. Our board won't allow it. So we support the ZOA if you understand that a Palestinian state will be a terrorist state. You saw when we gave away Gaza, a mini-state, to the Arabs, to Hamas, what a nightmare it was. We got 35,000 rockets in the last 20 years, in addition to the nightmare of October 7th. If we give them even more land, they'd have even more power to do even more harm. So if you oppose establishing a state, ZOA is the address. Vote for the ZOA coalition to give us the strength to fight against this establishment. And give us the strength to fight not only for Judea and Samaria. We're the only major group fighting to end boycott the BDS. Not only BDS for Israel proper, but many organizations oppose BDS in Judea and Samaria. They say you can boycott 800,000 Jews who live in eastern Jerusalem, Judea and Samaria. ZOA, again, is the only major group fighting to stop BDS in Judea and Samaria and East Jerusalem, as well as all of the rest of Israel. And we are also fighting anti-Semitism in a way no other group has. We have convinced students to not go to protests. When we explain to them that there is no occupation, this has always been Jewish land, there's never been a sovereign state of Palestine, no Palestinian kings and queens. Not only did God in the Bible give this land to the Jews, but one international resolution and law after another from 1920 on has given this land to the Jews under international law. When we make it clear there's no occupation, we never took land from the Arabs, that makes a difference to these people and to stop anti-Semitism in its tracks. We also make it clear that Jerusalem is not holy to Muslims. The word Jerusalem is never mentioned in the Quran, in their holy book. In fact, when they control Jerusalem, they let it become a slum. We are making it clear to students and the people around the world, Jerusalem is holy only to Jews, maybe to some Christians, never been holy to Muslims. When they controlled it, virtually no Arab leaders ever visited it. These are the sorts of things we make clear to the public. No other group does. Support the ZOA coalition. Give us the strength to fight for what's best for Israel and what's best for the Jewish people. You give us the strength by voting for us, we will not disappoint you. We'll fight with courage and integrity and effectiveness and never let you down.
I'm convinced. That was fantastic. Thank you very much. And look, I remember when we had the presidential election, if God forbid the left won, kind of in the same situation here. If the left and reform factions get the most votes in the World Zionist Congress, I'm not much into drama, but to me, it would be a disaster.
Only this week, Rabbi Jacobs, the head of the Reform movement, and other leaders of the Reform movement this very week said we must give Judea and Samaria to the Arabs, to give half of Jerusalem to the Arabs, and set up a Palestinian state. They said it this week after 10/7. Let me tell you something else. The American Jewish Committee right now supports a state. ADL supports a Palestinian state. AIPAC on their website said we need a Palestinian state. ZOA is the only organization fighting against this terrible disaster that would accrue to Israel if we allowed such a state. So again, we cannot allow the reform movement and other groups on the left to get votes and to have their voice heard, to promote issues and resolutions and beliefs that would be terribly detrimental to the Jewish people and to Israel. And I might say another thing. This issue of genocide, we are fighting like crazy on campuses to make it clear there has never been a genocide. In fact, there are more Arabs now in Judea and Samaria than there were in 1948. So whoever's in charge of the genocide program has to be fired immediately because it's not working. And there were 2 million Arabs in Judea and Samaria 2 years ago. Today there's more than 2 million.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. I don't like the fact that we're letting out some of these prisoners in residential communities like what they call the West Bank. I call Judea and Samaria. One thing to kind of put them away in Gaza, but you start putting them in Judea and Samaria. Next thing you know, they're on a bus to East Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, and that becomes a huge security problem for us. So, look, we've done a heck of a lot with this group. We are just joined. You've done a heck of a lot with this group in the last 5 years. I could only imagine what the next 5 years are going to look like. You tell me, next 5 years, what's our plan?
We've been fighting for a long time, first of all, to stop the de-Judaization of Judea and Samaria by calling it the West Bank. It should never be called the West Bank. This is a term developed in the late 60s by the Arabs to make it look like this is not a Jewish area. And in part, because of our efforts to stop using the term West Bank, I'm so proud. Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas
Love him.
Has produced legislation to make it illegal under federal law, by federal people who are involved with the federal government to use the word West Bank, only Judea and Samaria. And Congressman Brian Mast, the chairman of the House Foreign Relations Committee, has also given an order that nobody who works in the federal government can ever use the word West Bank again, only Judea and Samaria. We're the only ones who are promoting this type of issue. And so I hope you will continue to give our support to ZOA Coalition so we can promote the truth of these types of issues when no other group is doing it.
Okay, final 60 seconds. This is the great Morton Klein, my friend. He's the national president. This guy's amazing. How do we win the election? How do we make sure we get in all these votes? When, in fact, you can start to vote, folks. Don't forget, early Monday morning.
Monday morning, for those who haven't registered, go to zoacoalition.org, and they will give you instructions how to register to vote. So please, do your duty, because we now have the ability, as the parliament, under the World Zionist Congress, we are the parliament of the Jewish people. We will be helping determine the policies of Israel, the funding that Israel promotes, and the leadership in certain committees. I urge you, vote for ZOA Coalition, and we will make sure proud, serious, committed, effective Zionists will take over and help this Israeli government to do what's right for the Jewish people. No other group has shown this type of courage and leadership. I urge you, give us the strength to do the things that are best for Israel and the Jewish people, the things that you care about and you want done. We'll do it. We'll get it done.
Powerful words, Mr. Klein. And I speak on behalf of Jewish people here in the United States and all of my friends watching tonight in places far away, like Efrat and like Jerusalem. Thank you so much for being such a great fighter. Thank you.
Can I say one other thing?
Whatever you want. This is your show.
I want everyone to know, with the horrible increase in anti-Semitism on campuses, it was ZOA alone who fought for 6 years to change Title VI of the Civil Rights Act to cover Jews. Before it covered other minorities, not Jewish people. I begged other organizations to help us. They refused, saying you don't go around suing people. We alone fought it for 6 years. We got it changed with the help of 40 members of Congress that now Title VI of the Civil Rights Act covers Jewish people. We have now filed more lawsuits on behalf of Jewish kids who are being discriminated against and harassed on campuses than any other group. Every lawsuit you read about that's being filed to help Jewish students has only been possible because of the Zionist Organization of America and this coalition. This is who we are. We get things done proudly and courageously. We're not afraid of the truth. We promote the truth. Please give us the strength to continue doing so.
Thank you so much. Excellent job, Morton Klein. Thank you, Morton. So we did see just here in New York, actually, just the last 2 weeks, not one but two different occasions, where some students, some paid people, I'm sure, Went to the campus at Barnard College. Used to be a great school right there by Columbia, affiliated with Columbia. Not a great school anymore. And they've taken over libraries, they've taken over classrooms. But, because of our president, President Trump, who has promised to defund these universities, defund these schools, and my friend Elise Stefanik, the UN ambassador, this is not going to happen anymore, okay? It's not going to happen. Whether it's the message he sent to Hamas 2 days ago, where he said, just like this, if you're a Palestinian and you're hosting a hostage tonight, you're going to be dead. We needed this type of rhetoric for years. Now we finally have it. That's why I'm proud to say President Trump is a dear friend of mine, and one of the greatest honors of my lifetime was speaking at Madison Square Garden for my friend President Trump at his rally literally 9 days before he won back in October of 2024, November, I should say. A great day for everybody in America and in Israel. Look at the polls. Israelis love this president of the United States, not the last guy. Here's my friend, President Donald Trump.
Tonight I stand before you proudly to accept the Theodore Herzl Medallion. To everyone here at the Zionist Organization of America, thank you for bestowing me with this incredible honor. The United States and Israel are not just allies on a military basis, but economically and politically we're allies morally, culturally, and spiritually, and we always will be. At least if I have anything to do about it, I will tell you. As president, I was proud to be the best friend. This has been stated by many, so I'm just repeating it, but the best friend the state of Israel has ever had in the White House. I think that's certain. Under my leadership, the alliance between the United States and Israel had never been stronger. The future of the Middle East had never been brighter, it never looked brighter.
I wanted to mention one more extraordinary item. So many Reform Jews, conservative Jews, and all sorts of Jews have come to me telling me how right we've been about Oslo, about Arafat, about Abbas, about the Gaza withdrawal, about statehood. In fact, only a week ago in Israel, the liberal former ambassador to the United States, Michael Oren, spoke to the entire group of Jewish leaders from America who were in Israel. And before he started his speech, he said, "Mort, I see you standing there. I want to say one thing. Mort, you and ZOA and the ZOA coalition have been right about everything." Michael Oren publicly stated that, and then later he told me privately, "Mort, I've become so much closer to your positions than I've ever been." That's who we are. We've been right from the beginning. We'll be right at the end. By voting for us, you'll help make sure that the truth of the Arab-Islamic war against the Jews and Israel in the West will continue to be fought honestly and with integrity, and more people are joining us. I urge you, join us as well. Vote for the ZOA coalition, and we will not let you down.
Morton, thank you so much. And again, folks, you can start voting midnight Sunday night into Monday morning. The voting starts on Monday. Morton Klein, National President, excellent, excellent job. I am Sid Rosenberg from WABC Radio here in New York. I've been bestowed the honor tonight of taking you through this wonderful rally. And look at this guy standing right here as proud Zionists together, because you know what's at stake. This is not just another event. This is our chance to take real action for Israel. Now, I met Gabriel Boxer in Israel a couple of years ago, my first trip to Israel. We become brothers at this point. The World Zionist Congress elections, as we know, happen once every 5 years. And the votes we bring in right now, starting Monday morning, will determine the future of Jewish leadership, funding, and policies that affect Israel and the Jewish people worldwide. We cannot afford to sit this one out, folks. You got to help us. If we don't show up, the anti-Israel and left-wing factions will take control. What does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Less funding for Jewish education, weakening Israel's sovereignty, and pro-BDS voices gaining power.
Sid, we need to stop this now. If we can, we got to act now. Here's what you can do to help right now. And usually, if you know me, I always got to throw in a boom shakalaka. This is very, very important for everybody out there. I grew up in a pro-Zionist house in Queens, New York. My parents instilled in me the love for Israel and the love for all Jewish people. My first trip to Israel was my bar mitzvah. I still remember we went up to Tiberias first. I remember reading the Torah my bar mitzvah day at the Kotel, where afterwards my parents took me to Yad Vashem. And I still remember we were coming out of our taxi, and Rabbi Lau, who was the chief rabbi at the time, was walking out. My father went over to me, gave me a blessing, a bracha that day.
Wow.
On my bar mitzvah day in Israel.
Well, just our last trip, you and I were at the Kotel till 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 nights before Yom Kippur with Sarah Netanyahu.
We never got sleep. We were up there at the headquarters. Tila Falak was there with us. Yeah. We had an amazing time. After Yom Kippur, you and I got to break bread with Bibi himself.
It was pretty surreal for us. And I know not everybody in Israel and New York are big fans of Bibi Netanyahu, and that's okay.
I am.
But I am too. Listen, I know that he was kind of asleep at the wheel on October the 7th. That may cost him. It may cost him somewhere down the road. But since that day, I couldn't think of a better guy. And I really believe the 1-2 punch of Trump and Bibi is about the best 1-2 punch between Israel and the United States we've ever seen.
I always tell everybody, we're the dream team, but that's the dream team.
The dream
Bibi
team.
and Trump.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. I'm taking out my phone. This is my personal phone over here. I'm always ready to go back to Israel. I got the Rav Kav on the back, ready to go. But let me get my phone open over here. I am going, and I want you to go. I want everyone out there to become an activist like I am, like Sid is. We have become true Zionists for Israel, lovers of all the Jewish people. And if you want to get involved, you could easily do it as well. Go to where I am right now, voteforisrael.com. That's right, this is my phone, voteforisrael.com, guys, right there. Yeah. You go to join the fight. I'm going to fill out everything just like you should do it at home right now. Fill out the commitment form, name, email, phone, pledge how many votes you'll bring. This is a numbers game. Every single vote counts. Sid, I'm going to commit to bringing in over 1,000 votes myself. We need each of you to commit, bringing in at least 10 votes. Your friends, your family, neighbors, all for the ZOA Coalition. Slate 15, this is our fight. I want to tell you a quick story. I still remember when I was at Nassau County GOP headquarters when Chairman Cairo got up there and he told everybody, it's not about doing A, doing B, doing C. If you want to win, you yourself have to go to your neighbor's door, knock on the door, explain to them, ask them to vote. Call your friends, call your family. You need to get out there yourself. You need to bring one person a day. There's so many weeks. As Sid has mentioned many times, 4 days. March 10th to May 4th is the voting time.
March 4th. Oh, May 4th is the end of it.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Thank you.
Not March 10th, Monday.
Right.
You have a lot of time. Every single day, get one person, get 2 people to go and vote for Slate 15, the ZOA Coalition. And you vote at ZionistElection.org. It's an easy website to remember, ZionistElection.org, and we can make history together.
And we can win, and I'm going to be very honest with the audience because I'm a very honest guy. I actually was drafted by a whole bunch of really good Jews to join a different coalition. And I must tell you, yes, I was. And I was with that coalition for about 4 weeks, and I quit. And I was made aware of ZOA, and they called me tonight, how come you're not here? And I said, because I'm here. So let's make history together. Go to voteforisrael.com right now. And together,
we could do this and we could win together. I'm telling you, I was just in Israel the other week. Sid, we've been to Israel together. We're going back again in a few weeks with One Israel Fund. I'm also a delegate, like you're a delegate with One Israel Fund. I'm a delegate with AFJS, American Friends for Judea Samaria, all part of Slate 15, the ZOA slate. And I know Israel means so much to you. You were just in Israel a few months ago with me. And Sid, we're going back. But we might go back another time because you know what? If you're a delegate and I'm a delegate, we're going to the World Zionist Congress.
And we're going to win.
We're going to make sure that everything we're telling you is going to happen for the Jewish people, for Israel. Zionism matters, and we need you to go and vote now because, as I've said it before, and Sid has said it many times, together we win.
Let me read off some of the folks that have already been very, very good for us so far tonight. Akiva Kovitz, thank you very much, 1,000 votes. Ina Keller, 200 votes. We've got Alan Mazarek, 1,223
Look at that, Sid,
votes.
on the screen. Over 118,000 committed votes already. 118,000 committed. Imagine when Monday, when voting starts, we get those votes on. What that means for our coalition, ZOA Slate 15.
Alan J, 1,000 votes. Gabe Boxer, the kosher guru. Eileen Kornberg, 1,000 votes. So let me just say, you guys are off to a tremendous start. Not a good start, a tremendous start. Keep this going till about 8:30 tonight. Make sure you vote right after midnight on Monday morning, and we will make history together.
And we're going to keep calling out as the votes come in, as your commitments come in, as being strong activists for the ZOA Slate 15 coalition. We want to make sure we thank you. We're going to read off your numbers, your commitments. Keep it going. It's very simple. Pick up your phone, go online, sign up, and then make sure you get the word out there because there is so much at stake here for the Jewish people, for Israel, for Zionism, and for our future. And you all matter and can make a difference.
Oh.
Let's keep it going, everybody.
Back to you.
אנחנו מחוברים ללב של העם שלנו, לכל חלקיו, דתיים וחילונים, ספרדים ואשכנזים, צעירים ומבוגרים, עם אחד, גורל אחד, עתיד אחד. העתיד הזה בידיים שלנו. הבחירות האלו הן רגע מכריע. הן יקבעו אם המשאבים והכוח במוסדות הלאומיים יחזקו את ישראל או ייפלו לידיים של ארגונים פוסט-ציוניים. אנחנו כאן כדי להיאבק על הזהות היהודית, על הציונות, על ההתיישבות, על העלייה לארץ. ההתיישבות זה לא עניין של ימין ושמאל, זה העתיד שלנו. אין הבדל בין נתניה ליצהר, בין תל אביב לירושלים, בין הרצליה לקדומים, בין הגליל ליהודה ושומרון. מדינת ישראל היא מדינה אחת, ואנחנו כאן כדי לשמור עליה טובה יותר וחזקה יותר. בקדנציה האחרונה נאבקנו כדי לשמור על הערכים שלנו. נאבקנו כדי לוודא שמרכזיותה של ישראל בחיים היהודיים תישמר. נאבקנו כדי לוודא שלכל יהודי בעולם תהיה כתובת. הבית של כולנו היא כאן, במדינת ישראל. מאז ה-7 באוקטובר העולם השתנה. האנטישמיות הרימה ראש. וישראל הוכיחה, שוב, שהיא הבית של כל היהודים. אנחנו חייבים להגיב בעוצמה, בזהות, בציונות, בגאווה. זה הזמן שלכם להצטרף למאבק שלנו, למאבק של כולנו. עם התחלפות הממשל בארצות הברית, יש לנו עכשיו חלון זמן שבו אפשר להפוך את הערכים שלנו למציאות. זה הזמן לחזק את הקשר בין ישראל ליהדות התפוצות, להיאבק נגד האנטישמיות ולהשפיע באמת. רשימה 15, מספר קטן, אבל עם משמעות גדולה. המשמעות של ישראל חזקה, של מאבק על זהות, של עוצמה יהודית וציונית, של גאווה. אנחנו צריכים אתכם איתנו. הצביעו רשימה 15. הצביעו ZOA Coalition.
And folks, welcome back to our ZOA rally. Once again, I'm Sid Rosenberg, WABC Radio in New York. I got a lot of folks watching us tonight. Shani Heiken, the beautiful wife of Dov Heiken, just sent me a text. She's going to vote ZOA. She's watching us. Elizabeth Pipko down in Miami. My dear friend Lizzie, she's watching us. Siggy Flicker. Siggy's going to help us out down in Miami in a couple of weeks. She's watching us, as is my girl from Jexit, Michelle Lubin Terrace. Thank you all for tuning in here tonight. Now, I met Liz Burney a couple of months ago. Where did we meet again? I forgot now.
We met at the One Israel Fund Gala.
That's right. They honored me that night.
That's right. And One Israel Fund is one of our 30 coalition partners. And, I'd love to speak more about, many of the partners on our slate.
They're great.
They're just terrific.
Scott Beltman does a great job. And Liz, of course, has a very, very big job. What is exactly your title with ZOA?
Oh, I'm the National Director of Research and Special Projects.
Wow. That's a big deal. And you're great, because I know that when you guys were trying to recruit me to come to ZOA, you were right there at the top calling me every single day. So thank you for doing that, because I made the right choice.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. And I understand that very few people in the U.S. really understand more about the World Zionist Congress than you. To be completely honest, I showed up 3 hours early. I do movies. I get there an hour before. I showed up 3 hours early so you could explain to me, tell the audience about all of that.
Okay, well, the World Zionist Congress was started in 1897, the same year that ZOA was founded, by Theodor Herzl, the author of the famous Jewish State. And the idea was to lay the foundations for the founding of Israel, of the Jewish state, and not just the foundation in terms of people or finances, but the foundation in terms of making sure that we had the legal rights to the land internationally guaranteed. And ZOA worked to make sure that that happened. ZOA was at the conferences in Europe after World War I that made sure that Israel had the legal rights to the land. And they were very prescient because they knew that this is something that would be challenged today.
Yes.
And we are constantly educating people about Israel's legal rights. It's one of the most important things to let people know and to understand that we are there by right. We're not there by any other reason. Also God's promise, of course,
it's ours.
but also we're there by international law.
It's ours. That's the bottom line. So my history is I grew up in a very, very small town. Brooklyn, New York. And I was a Democrat, and I loved Ed Koch. And I even liked Bill Clinton a little bit. But I become a rabid Republican. Now, mind you, in terms of my social views, I'm still very liberal. But after October 7th, I've really become even more conservative than ever. And I'm deathly afraid of the left wing, the reformists, whether it's in the United States or Israel, gaining any power. And I would imagine in the World Zionist Congress, you got to feel the same way.
There are big, big battles with the left at the Zionist Congress. I was going to try to show clips tonight, but we'll send them out about the debate I did in the previous election in 2020.
Who'd you debate?
And I debated the head of the Reform slate and the head of a slate called Hatikva, which is a far left slate. It was a left-wing slate. And at one of the clips, the left-wing slates said that they opposed defunding UNRWA.
They
opposed it. And I spoke about how it's necessary to defund UNRWA. And we've seen that now. I mean, ZOA has always been prescient. The ZOA coalition and all of our wonderful partners, we've been prescient about what the need to do certain things. And by the way, in the Zionist Congress, we got a resolution passed calling for dismantling UNRWA. And that's an important statement to make to the world. But it was obvious that they were infested with Hamas, and we've been pointing that. And for the left to say, leave them alone, it's crazy.
No,
and there's so many.
And President Trump feels the same way. Obviously, here the UNRWA is basically done.
Okay. Also, in the debate, if I can mention that, the debate, there was a segment where Rabbi Golub, who was the moderator of blessed memory, asked each group, "What do you, funding projects in the West Bank? Yes or no?"
He said the West Bank, not
He called it the West Bank. Okay, he called
right
it
off the bat, he's disqualified.
Okay. No. But he said the West Bank funding projects, from the Zionist Congress in the West Bank, and Reform said no. The other left-wing slate said no, and I said absolutely yes. And it's Judea and Samaria, exactly what you would have said.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's right. It's right. If you look at all the information that's the platforms, many of these platforms call for of the left wing slates call for a Palestinian state, call for, they openly call for defunding Judea and Samaria. That's divestment. That's the D in BDS.
Oh, I know. It's a mystery to me. It's a shock to me, Liz. So clearly, after talking to Morton Klein and you, ZOA has done some amazing things the last couple of years. Amazing things.
Yes.
There's more work to be done.
Always.
Always. So based upon some of these accomplishments, what you've been able to do, without winning, now we come out, and it's not if we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win because
we're going to win.
Right. Monday morning, you're all going to vote for ZOA, and come May, we're going to be in power. We've done some great things in the past. What are some of the things you want to do in the future?
Well, we want to do even more on the campuses. We've been calling
That's
attention.
the biggest problem.
We've been calling attention to that at the World Zionist Congress, getting help from the World Zionist Congress and working together on that, working together with many of our slate partners. Many our slate partners, not only the ZOA, the Zionist organization, but are the people at the forefront on the campuses, and Jew Hatred, Lawfare Project, Students Supporting Israel. I understand that you're going to be speaking with them. Yeah. In a way, I hesitate to start listing some of our partners because I might leave somebody out. But and also on Judea and Samaria, we have the slate partners like American Friends of a Terror Kohanim.
Oh, that's Shani Heiken.
Shani, yeah.
She's watching us right now. The great Dov Heiken, eh, guys?
American Friends of Judea and Samaria. One Israel Fund, of course.
Yes.
So all of the people
who
not
are... not just Shani Heiken, but the great Moti Dan. You know Moti Dan, I'm sure. And Dan Lurie. Yeah.
So all the people who are at the forefront of our issues, those are the groups that are on the ZOA coalition, up and down the line.
Well, listen, this was an excellent conversation.
Thank you.
And I know you're great at this, so thank you so much for
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sid.
That is Liz Burney.
Oh.
And once again, folks, in terms of voting, it's very, very simple. You go Monday morning. It's midnight Sunday into Monday morning, and you can vote. And you vote at our website, right?
Yeah. We'll direct you. The ZOA ZOAcoalition.org will direct you to the voting website. The actual voting website is ZionistElection.org, which will that's actually where you can vote online. And there are also paper ballots. If you're not able to vote online, we can get you a paper ballot.
Perfect. Okay.
Many ways to vote.
Simple enough. Thank you, Liz. That's a great job. Liz Burney.
Make an update over here because the numbers are going crazy. The numbers are going crazy. Look at the screen. We're to 121,000 committed votes. I got Adam Schwartz, my business partner. Adam only 10? Come on. You can do better than Adam. Merchant Marketplace 10. Up those numbers right now. Get back on your phone. Get back on your phone. VoteForIsrael.com is the website. If I say any more tonight, you're going to think I'm going crazy like Crazy Eddie did, but I'm not. You're going to go on VoteForIsrael.com. Get those numbers going. Get those numbers going. Pete Singer, 10 votes. We got Jacqueline Schaefer, 104 votes. I got Susan Maytel down there, 3 votes. Thank you so much. Look at that. Stephen Kavanaugh, 2,000 votes. Pedron Brow, 52 votes.
But let me tell them who Pedron Brow is. Pedron Brow is one of our slate leaders, and he is the mayor of Great Neck.
Oh, wow.
And a physician, beloved among the Great Neck and mayors throughout the country. He's one of the best mayors in the country.
We're going to have a competition now because that's Nordstrom on the South Shore. We're going to see who's going to outvote each other over here.
And I also want to mention I also want to mention all the communities that were with us. We have the Persian community, and they've been with, and many of these groups that I mentioned have been with the ZOA coalition for many years. We have some who have joined us recently, but many of them have been with us at the Zionist Congress after Zionist Congress, fighting together with us for many years. And the Persian community has been with us, the Russian community, Bukharian community, so many important communities in the United States that many people overlook are part of the ZOA coalition.
Don't forget the Syrian community.
And the Syrian community.
We
absolutely.
love those guys.
Yes, we do, and they're part of our coalition.
Abraham Hammer is watching right now.
Abraham Hammer is watching right
and
now.
That's my guy.
And I want to thank you so much, Liz. This was amazing.
Oh, Jeff Weisenfeld, great guy,
yes.
who is was one of the people who have stood up for Israel at the in New York City.
Yep. We got Mary Beth Brackelbach, 5 votes. They keep coming in. You are doing amazing. We want to thank you so much, but we're not done yet. Let's get those numbers going. We want to keep breaking records, Sid, records.
We're going to break records. We're going to win this time. There's no question about it. Stay here in fact, Gabriel, because I want to talk to you for a couple of minutes. We're going to run a short video. Gabriel is still to come. We're going to talk to the great Rachel Asroy. Still lots more to do, folks. Don't forget, voting starts midnight Sunday night. Monday morning, vote ZOA to make sure that Israel has a bright future and all of us American Jews can be very, very proud. I'll come back with Gabriel Boxer right after this.
Go vote more now.
My name is Evgeny Millman, and I'm a professor of mathematics at City University of New York. I'm also a proud candidate to represent the ZOA, the Zionist Organization of America, at the World Zionist Congress this October. We lead a coalition with the 30 other strongest pro-Israel organizations in the United States. ZOA was at the very first World Zionist Congress in 1897. It was the first U.S. pro-Israel organization which helped to secure the right of Jewish people to establish our country in Eretz Israel. I became part of this coalition due to my concern for anti-Semitism on college campuses, which spiked after the barbarian attack of terrorists from Gaza. I witnessed, and I'm continuing to witness, the pro-Hamas gatherings, marches, online harassment with goal to intimidate our students, faculty, and staff. We cannot remain silent. We must fight back. We have the law, we have God on our side. The way you can help is to vote for our coalition, ZOA. It's late number 15. Help us lead the way to defend our land and not accept any compromises. We are Jews and we stand united in our love for Israel. This is the moment. This is the fight. Vote for the ZOA coalition. Vote slate number 15. Vote for Israel.
Baby, yeah, vote, baby, yeah, vote, baby, yeah, vote, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen, you gotta go vote for ZOA Coalition. We got the record of doing it, fighting. We stand for truth, daily and nightly. Will the hate stop? Depends if you go. Submit all the votes and together we'll glow. Fighters for Israel, head to battle. Light up the World Congress with our candles. Help Samaria and Judea. You gotta go vote today. 15, that's the slate we're on. Give us your vote and BDS is gone. ZOA Coalition leads the way.
And folks, welcome back to our ZOA rally tonight. I got to tell you, I'm looking at the numbers. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I really am very excited about the actual vote, which of course starts midnight Sunday night into Monday morning. Go vote and make sure that ZOA, you've heard from Morton Klein, how great was he? You heard from Liz Burney, you heard from Gabriel Boxer. These are all some of the strongest Jews in the world today. And you've heard what ZOA has done. Just imagine what we can do in the future. I actually quit another group just to be here tonight. One of the best decisions I ever made. Now, to my left is a young lady I've been corresponding with for quite some time on Instagram, not only because she's cute, she's a mother of 3, by the way, but she's an activist. She's about as strong as fighter for Israel as anyone you'd ever meet, and I'm proud to share the stage with her tonight, my friend Rachel Asroy. Rachel, how are you?
Sid, thank you so much. I am so honored to be here tonight. You know, we all work, we all do so much, and we could all say we're putting in the towel, but I want to tell you something right now. Now is your time to stand up for Israel. It is never too late to be a voice. You hear all the voices of the room. If your vote was the only vote for slate 15, imagine that, your vote was the only vote, what would you do? How important would it be to you? That's how I want you to look at it tonight. It is so important that we stand up for Israel. When I think about the soldiers, right? We're home. Where do we live? New York.
Yeah.
Right? We go to sleep at night and we watch them on Instagram and we see them fighting and singing Am Yisrael Chai. That's all beautiful. But when they put their head down at night to sleep,
If they sleep.
If they sleep,
Yeah.
you know what they're sleeping on?
Rocks. Yeah. You know, I'm glad you brought that up because we spent so much time, Rachel, and deservedly talking about the hostages, talking about the civilians that were brutally murdered back on October the 7th. I have a good friend, her name is LOD. She lives about 8 blocks away, former IDF soldier, and she sends me videos of soldiers that are still dying. I mean, I don't think we spend enough time. I'm glad you brought that up. We don't spend enough time giving the soldiers who are still fighting way past October 7th, putting their lives on the line for Israel and Jews around the world. So thank you, because the soldiers don't get enough credit.
They don't. And I want you just to realize for a minute, those soldiers have wives, have children. Time is something that we can never take back. Voting for ZOA is the only way to vote. If you stand with the left, you're making a big left wrong turn. I came all the way, it's true. I came all the way here to tell you that. My husband is born and bred in Israel, and it's all he says. If you vote tonight, you will make a difference. Not for me, not for Sid, but for the entire world. I think about the first time I went to Israel. Many of you, I know that we were talking about this earlier. We were saying, go to Israel. And I looked at Sid, I said, not everybody can make it to Israel. Not everybody was able to see the horrors that happened on October 7th. Maybe financially they can't make it there or whatever their schedules may be. Not everybody could be an activist and get on the plane and be there. But you know how they could be an activist and be a voice and fight hard? Tonight, by voting. You might not all be able to go to Israel, and you might be on American soil or soil around the world, but you can be on Israel soil in your heart and in your mind and in your power. And that's how we gain power. And I want to say one other thing.
And by the way, you don't vote tonight, you vote on Monday, but
pre-register.
Make the decision to vote tonight.
That's right.
Right.
But I want to say one thing. Anti-Semitism is anti-Zionism. And I believe in compassion over conflict. And I want you to think about that tonight. So when you think about which slate you should vote for, there was only one. There was only ZOA. We do not want to say left anymore. We have Trump behind us. Look at what he's done in the past 2 months. He had the hostages in his Oval Office. It is like a dream come true. It's like a pinch me moment. You have the most powerful man on this slate. What does that say to all of you? This is the slate 15, ZOA coalition. I'm going to say it like 10 times. This is the only slate to vote for. Did you hear what Sid said? He jumped ship. I'm a Syrian girl from Brooklyn. He's an Ashkenaz Jew from Brooklyn, and we're telling you.
If I heard that word hazit one more time when I was in high school,
Hazita.
I went to Schechter, you guys went to Flatbush. We had a big rivalry. It's a big deal.
That's right.
You always won. And you had the nicer houses on Ocean Parkway.
And I want to add in for you. You know, obviously I shifted gears after October 7th, and my page was only geared towards the love of Israel. And many people used to ask me, when is your page going back to normal? Has anything we've seen in the past almost 17 months normal? Children sitting in a library paying for tuition because they want to have a better life in America. They have these protesters sneaking up in the stairwell in libraries. You're watching on screens. Please, tonight, make a difference. Think about what ZOA could do for Israel, for our soldiers, our hostages, our communities. Take action. We're here tonight because we want to make a difference. Don't just think about it. Do it. I'm asking all of you. I am a proud Jew. I am a proud mother. I am a sister. I work hard, and I'm here. I could be anywhere tonight. I could have made any excuse in the world.
True.
I can't. I have to be home.
And your husband's very cute. He's a cute guy. I saw him on the Zoom. So.
Very handsome. But we need to put our priorities in check. And I want to ask all of you, where do your priorities lie? Mine lie with Israel.
And I can tell you why that's true. Because I admit, I only became this guy after October 7th. But my friend Rachel and her husband, again, as she talked about born in Israel, you were in Israel many, many, many times before October 7th.
I got married in Israel.
She got married in Israel. That's pretty nice.
I want to tell you, this
I wasn't
year.
there. You didn't invite me.
Well,
I didn't
maybe
know
I'll
you.
renew my vows. We'll have the whole ZOA team.
There you go. I love it. That is Rachel Asroy. She does a great job for us. And you were magnificent here tonight. Thank you. And I thought your message was really resonating when you said, if you can't go to Israel, I'm a big stalker. I get paid for it. You know what I mean? So if you can't get to Israel, if you could be there heart and soul, I think that is one of the great points all night. So thank you.
And I want every single one of you to DM me tonight, Monday, every single day. We want all the votes. I want you to send me messages. I voted, I voted, I voted, 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 voted. That's all I want to hear. And you will see the difference that ZOA is going to continuously make. So vote. I support you. I implore you. And just remember, compassion over conflict. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. You were
tonight.
fantastic. What a terrific job. Thank you. That's Rachel Asroy. And these are the types of people we have at ZOA. Beautiful, like the Trump administration, beautiful, young, smart people who actually care. There's no agenda. There's no hidden agenda. That young lady, Rachel, and Liz, and Morton, and more folks you're going to hear from tonight, Gabriel, they actually care. So folks, make that commitment. That's all I'm asking. Make that commitment. It's not $1 million. It's not even $10. Monday morning, midnight, Sunday night, vote ZOA. Again, I quit another group when I found out about these guys because this is the group that you need to be voting for. If you care about Israel, if you care about the Jewish people, if you care about the future of our people who have been absolutely savaged over the last 2 years, you've only got one choice. That is ZOA. If you like Rachel, you're also going to like Valeria. Take a look at this.
דברים ללב של העם שלנו, לכל חלקיו, דתיים וחילונים, ספרדים ואשכנזים, צעירים ומבוגרים, עם אחד, גורל אחד, עתיד אחד. העתיד הזה בידיים שלנו. הבחירות האלו הן רגע מכריע. הן יקבעו אם המשאבים והכוח במוסדות הלאומיים יחזקו את ישראל או ייפלו לידיים של ארגונים פוסט-ציוניים. אנחנו כאן כדי להיאבק על הזהות היהודית, על הציונות, על ההתיישבות, על העלייה לארץ. ההתיישבות זה לא עניין של ימין ושמאל, זה העתיד שלנו. אין הבדל בין נתניה ליצהר, בין תל אביב לירושלים, בין הרצליה לקדומים, בין הגליל ליהודה ושומרון. מדינת ישראל היא מדינה אחת, ואנחנו כאן כדי לשמור עליה טובה יותר וחזקה יותר. בקדנציה האחרונה נאבקנו כדי לשמור על הערכים שלנו. נאבקנו כדי לוודא שמרכזיותה של ישראל בחיים היהודיים תישמר. נאבקנו כדי לוודא שלכל יהודי בעולם תהיה כתובת. הבית של כולנו היא כאן, במדינת ישראל. מאז ה-7 באוקטובר העולם השתנה. האנטישמיות הרימה ראש. וישראל הוכיחה, שוב, שהיא הבית של כל היהודים. אנחנו חייבים להגיב בעוצמה, בזהות, בציונות, בגאווה. זה הזמן שלכם להצטרף למאבק שלנו, למאבק של כולנו. עם התחלפות הממשל בארצות הברית, יש לנו עכשיו חלון זמן שבו אפשר להפוך את הערכים שלנו למציאות. זה הזמן לחזק את הקשר בין ישראל ליהדות התפוצות, להיאבק נגד האנטישמיות ולהשפיע באמת. רשימה 15 מספר קטן, אבל עם משמעות גדולה. המשמעות של ישראל חזקה, של מאבק על זהות, של עוצמה יהודית וציונית, של גאווה. אנחנו צריכים אתכם איתנו. הצביעו רשימה 15. הצביעו ZOA Coalition.
You know, they asked me to do this, Sid Rosenberg, WABC Radio, and I'm going to be honest. I didn't know how good it was going to be. It's great. This is unbelievable. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. All of our guests here tonight are amazing. These are some of the strongest Jewish people you'll ever meet. And the numbers are coming in, and they're coming in big. They're coming in heavy. They're coming in fast. And the voting doesn't even start until Monday morning. Now, I'm really looking forward to this. We're honored to have with us today a true leader in the fight against anti-Semitism on college campuses. Valeria Chazin, the founder of SSI, which is Students Supporting Israel. Now, in recent years, we've seen a disturbing rise in anti-Semitism, anti-Israel rhetoric, and even threats against Jewish students in universities across the United States and around the world. In fact, right here in New York, just a couple of miles away, We had the issue at Barnard College the last 2 weeks. While these challenges are growing, so is the resistance, the activism, and the courage of students who refuse to be silenced. That's where SSI comes in. Under Valeria's leadership, SSI has become a powerful grassroots movement, empowering students to stand proudly for Israel, counter misinformation, and create a strong pro-Israel presence on campus. SSI often works together on campus with other groups in the ZOA coalition, including ZOA Campus, my friends Dave and Ben at End Jew Hatred, Lawfare Project, and others. With that, let's welcome in Valeria. Valeria, Sid Rosenberg here in New York. How are you?
Well, thank you for the introduction.
You're welcome. You deserve it. Now, look, as I talked about, we've seen a shocking rise in anti-Semitism on campuses right here in New York, Barnard College, Columbia, NYU. I know this morning the team that just won the football championship, Ohio State, they had an issue too, California being buried, places like UCLA and USC. And these protests, okay, they're not protests. These are terrorists. These are not protesters. They want outright violence. Can you tell us, Valeria, about the current situation and how it's affecting Jewish students across the nation?
Honestly, I think that I do not probably need to tell this group here, the viewers, about the situation that Zionist and Jewish students are facing on college campuses, because I think many people know that and have been following that. But what I will say is that while you hear many times about the negatives and all the encampments and these news, less highlighted are the positives and, the wins that the Jewish students are having on campus. And for example, in SSI, we're active on 150 universities. And from day one, our mission has been to be a clear and confident pro-Israel voice on college campuses and to support students in grassroots activism. And that means that we believe in boots on the ground to have a visible, proactive pro-Israel message. And you mentioned Columbia University, that is one of our strongest chapters, for example, who led one of the biggest rallies for Israel in New York City on campus, right outside of the encampment. And, Prime Minister Begin once said that I am not the Jew with trembling knees. And this is definitely the spirit of SSI activists across the country. And I also believe that this is the spirit that many people here on slate number 15 are sharing when it comes to campuses and what needs to be done.
Valeria, at Columbia last year at one point, there was a rabbi who told the Jewish students, it was during Pesach, I don't know if you know this, but I held the very first press conference outside Columbia University. I did it. Me and Bruce Blakeman came, he's a Nassau County executive, and Anthony D'Esposito and Mike Lawler out of Rockland County, and my friend, the comedic actor Mike Rappaport. And the rabbi said to the kids, you know what, maybe you should go home. And I was furious, because what I want to see from our Jewish allies, I want to fight back. The ADL is not what it was when I was a kid. The JDL is not what it was. I'll punch somebody across the face. I'm not encouraging violence. But don't go home, stay and fight, yes?
I would agree 100%. I think right now in Israel, we have IDF soldiers who are the same age as the students on college campuses. They're fighting on the ground in all the different fronts in Israel, including my relatives who are fighting, my younger cousin who's right there, in the army and has not seen his parents for a while because he's right there. And so what I say is that a lot of the students, we in the United States, we definitely need not be shy to take the flag at least and go out to the streets to proudly show our presence and our support for Israel. And I think here in SSI, for example, we definitely empower our members to be not just the activists, but also the organizers, because we want to lead our peers, to create these rallies, to go out there, to speak up, to be very proactive and not just responsive to the problems. You're absolutely right.
I got to tell you, terrific. Have people told you that before?
Thank you so much. And I
no, you're not leaving me yet. You're not leaving me yet, because I do want to ask you. I just wanted to tell you how great you are. But I do want to ask you that moving forward, with so many universities still an issue, we had President Trump come out and say that the federal government will start to defund some of these universities, which I think is great, although he should have done it already with Barnard and Columbia. We've got my friend Elise Stefanik, the UN ambassador to Israel. She did a tremendous job, as you know, Valeria, when she just throttled all these university presidents, Harvard, Pennsylvania, MTA, Northwestern, on Capitol Hill just last year. So we got the people in charge who are ready to really hurt these universities financially, and sometimes, as you know, Valeria, that's even better than a punch across the face.
Yes, financials matter a lot, and I think it's very important that that attention has been given to the leadership of universities, because everybody over last year and over the encampments that happened, we're basically looking for the responsible adults, right? Because we want the university leaderships to live up to their responsibilities to protect Jewish students. And so I want to actually mention something that, over the past 5 years since the last elections, we achieved many results working with the World Zionist Organization. And one of them has been a resolution that we passed. Actually, I drafted it together with Liz Barney, who spoke here right before, to say that we urge university leadership to stand up for the rights of Jewish students on campus. And that was just one achievement together with many others. And I'll give you an example, like securing funds from the WZO for activism on the ground, or like creating many events with probably hundreds of participants. And one of them that was very special that I remember is, for example, a meeting between delegations of Israeli mayors and students on campuses where they both shared some challenges. And that was in the presence of Yaakov Hagoel, the chairman of the World Zionist Organization. And so all these things happened because of our presence last time. So definitely, I think if the people watching this want to continue this work and want to see us keeping delivering and representing our values, I would encourage everyone to come out and vote.
Well, finally, in the last 60 seconds, and you're right, come out and vote. It all begins midnight Sunday into Monday morning. We need your votes. We want your votes. And trust me, if you love Valeria, you love Sid, you love Israel, you're going to want to vote for us. How can the audience watching right now help support SSI's mission? Because I got to tell you, I really believe right now, the issue that you work on every day is the biggest one we're facing here in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the support would be, first of all, to encourage more of the type of work that we do. I mean, definitely everybody who's watching, who's also voting for the ZOA coalition, can look and see where is one of these 150 SSI chapters across the country and come and join the events on campuses. Because, in fact, the students, they're fighters on the ground on these academic institutions, but a lot of community involvement also matters. And we have a few examples, I can actually talk about this for hours, but a few examples where the students were facing problems, but we did need to mobilize the community to email and to call these universities to make sure things are moving and not just being forgotten in terms of problems that were happening on the ground. So definitely there are ways to support SSI, and we're working. I'll also give you one more example, is that for now we're working on a few instances with ZOA's legal department when we have a problem, to also solve some issues whenever they come up on campus. So thank you. Campuses have been definitely the focus over the last year and a half, and actually way before that. But I think now suddenly everybody are paying attention to this. So we want to make sure not just us paying attention to this, but also the national institutions will be paying attention to this and devoting the fundings to help these students be proud Zionists on the ground.
Your work is very inspiring and very, very important. I can't thank you enough. And ZOA, we're very lucky that you're on our team. We got a great team. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We can't wait to hear more. Let's dive in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to have you. All right, that's important stuff, folks. Right there, SSI, making sure. When I was a kid, I said, Mom, Dad, I want my kid to go to Harvard. I want my kid to go nowhere near Harvard right now. Princeton, Harvard, forget about it. We need to get back to the time when going to schools like Harvard was not just a huge deal academically, but was safe for Jewish students. That's not the case anymore. Folks, check out this campaign video.
Israel stands at a crossroads.
The choices we make today will decide whether our children grow up in safety or in fear.
On October 7, 2023, the illusion of peace was shattered.
1,200 butchered.
250 hostages ripped from their homes.
What if you had the power to help make sure it never happens again?
What if you could build a future where we don't have to wonder if our children will be safe?
Now you can really help. The ZOA Coalition, a united front of ZOA, endorsed by World Likud and
30 of the strongest pro-Israel organizations in the U.S., is running on slate number 15 in the World Zionist Congress elections.
For 128 years, the ZOA Coalition has fought for the Jewish people, Jewish students, global Jewish safety, and a strong Israel and Judea Samaria.
No excuses.
No compromise.
Founded in 1897, ZOA was America's first pro-Israel movement and was at the very first World Zionist Congress launching the struggle to secure the Jewish homeland.
ZOA played a key role in securing international legal recognition of Jewish rights to the land of Israel after World War I.
We led emergency efforts during World War II and fought to ensure U.S. recognition of Israel within minutes of its founding.
אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל.
ZOA, our coalition partners, and World Likud, don't bow.
We don't compromise.
We fight.
We opposed Oslo, the Gaza withdrawal.
We opposed the Iran deal.
We were right.
We stood alone, we never wavered.
No other slate can save us. There is no two-state solution. Only one strong Israel.
We led the fight to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, secure the Golan Heights,
and establish civil rights protections for Jewish students in America.
At the World Zionist Congress, nearly every major pro-Israel initiative, including the first anti-BDS resolution, was spearheaded by the ZOA Coalition.
The World Zionist Congress allocates $1.5 billion in funding every year
and determines leadership of Israel's national institutions.
Your vote decides whether that money strengthens Israel or is directed towards policies that weaken it.
October 7th was the price of fantasy.
The cost of pretending terrorists could be partners.
When others hesitated, we acted.
In Israel's darkest hour, the ZOA Coalition delivered over $50 million in aid,
funding critical equipment for soldiers,
supporting families,
and fighting anti-Semitism on over 100 universities' campuses.
Free legal aid, pro-Israel events,
Jewish students standing strong,
unafraid,
in Congress and in courtrooms.
Today, we have a moment we can't waste.
A White House that stands with Israel.
Now more than ever,
we must fight for Israel's future.
The ZOA Coalition, 30 plus of the strongest pro-Israel organizations, won't back down.
We'll secure a future where Israel is strong, safe, and sovereign over all of its land.
This is the moment. This is the fight.
Vote slate number 15. Vote for Israel.
הצביעו למען ארץ ישראל, למען עם ישראל. תנו לנו להמשיך לשמור על הערכים של ארץ ישראל.
Step up at voteforisrael.com.
Help Israel and the Jewish people win.
Welcome back. I am Gabriel Boxer, kosher guru, a delegate on Slate 15, the ZOA Coalition. Do I have to tell you? Voteforisrael.com. Guys, girls, go sign up, make that commitment. Look, we have 120, almost 120, 127, 89, almost 120,000 votes, commitments, starting Monday to get on their vote. We need you. We need your commitment. So you know what? Voteforisrael.com. Sign up. Become an activist like all of us here. I am proudly part of Slate 15. I'm a board member of AFJS and a board member of One Israel Fund, proudly part of this amazing slate. When I got here tonight, having dinner, I was introduced to an amazing person, Amihai Wrestler. And I had no idea that we didn't actually meet, but met his family. Myself and my family were in Israel on October 7th. We unfortunately experienced what was going on firsthand. I've spent so many days and months in Israel since then, helping, doing, seeing firsthand what needs to be done and what we can do. I visited a town in the Shomron called Kidumim. And when I was speaking to Amihai Wrestler, before I heard his story, I'm like, where are you from? And you're like, from Kidumim. Do you know Kidumim? I'm like, of course I know Kidumim. I know the mayor. Yigal Damoni took me all around there. And then I start showing him pictures on my phone. And he says, wait, that's my wife. And that's a picture of my son. I said, that's you? Amihai Wrestler, you have an amazing, unfortunate story to tell. And I am sorry, and I started tearing up before. And I'd like you to tell everybody, you're here in New York, but what brings you to New York? What happened on October 7th that changed your life forever?
On October 7th, my son was in Golani, Gdud 51. He was a soldier on a base called Mob Darom. He was there with his friends when the bombing on his base. He went inside of the shelter on his base, and the terrorists wanted to open the door. They tried by hand. They tried by shooting. They couldn't manage to open the door. Dvir stood up on the door first and held up the door. They thought by putting a bomb on the door, it will open. But they didn't know Dvir Chaim stood up on the door, and the bomb that exploded on him. And by that, he prevented the bomb from exploding on his friends. And his friends are alive because of my son.
Your son, Dvir Chaim.
Dvir Chaim, he's a true hero. He gave life. And you are talking now with his father, with so much. I'm so proud that I'm his father. He got a He gave me the privilege. He gave us all the privilege to be alive. He gave us life.
So by Dvir Chaim, and Chaim means life, by him giving his life, the ultimate sacrifice in the IDF, he gave life to others. And he gave you now life that you have a mission. You are here in New York talking about him and so much going on in Israel.
So I came here to New York. I'm going everywhere to expand this thing, his legacy. His legacy is that happiness wasn't the words of his life. It was his way of life to make everyone happy around him. I stood up on his grave and I looked up in the sky and I told him, thank you for the life that you gave us, and I'm going to continue your legacy. I'm going to go by after your step foot, and I will make everyone happy. And how am I doing it? I'm going all around Israel. We took a group that is called Extreme Joy. In Extreme Joy, we take families like us, we take them to trips all around Israel.
Explain, why extreme? What does extreme have to do with Dvir Chaim?
It's simply because Dvir Extreme is dirt bikes, ATVs, Jeeps, even racing cars, all the extreme in the world, but in joy. And I'm telling, we're standing on the land of Israel. We're looking down. I'm telling those parents that are with us, look, we're standing on the land of Israel because of who? Because of your beloved, that they gave their soul, their life, that we will be alive now. And what is alive? To be happy.
Your wife worked in the mayor's office for the mayor of Kidumim. Kidumim is a beautiful, I've been there many times, a beautiful community in Judea and Samaria, in the Shomron. You live there. Slate 15, the ZOA slate, and as Morton Klein, our fearless leader, has said, ZOA is the only organization, and our slate's the only slate that is supporting fully Judea and Samaria, Yehuda v'Shomron, that we must call it Yehuda v'Shomron. We must fight for our biblical ancestral homeland. What does Judea and Samaria mean to you and your family? And what did it mean to Dvir Chaim, who gave his life for the Jewish people and the nation of Israel?
Judea and Samaria, Shomron, Yehuda v'Shomron is all our life. I grew up there, he grew up there, he went, and there isn't a stone that he didn't jump, there isn't a mountain that he didn't climb in the Shomron. And why is that? It's because you guys gave us the power, you gave us the opportunity that we can go anywhere. So we're continuing what Dvir is doing.
Now, I spent
doing and
weeks,
he's doing.
I spent many weeks in Israel. I went on 2 amazing missions with One Israel Fund, with Sid Rosenberg, touring Judea and Samaria, seeing the communities firsthand. We visited army bases. We visited the communities. We visited the people. We also saw what One Israel Fund is doing on the ground, in the communities. Slate 15, the ZOA slate. There is so much at stake here with the World Zionist Congress. There's so much at stake for Israel, for the Jewish people. Why should the people vote Slate 15?
because they're giving the power, they're giving the money, they're doing everything in their power that we can continue our lives. Like my son gave his life, and you're helping us with money and all those activities that you're helping us. And this is why we're here now in New York, to continue. And we want people that will join us, to join all of us, that we can continue our sons, what my son gave us life, but life with joy all around Israel.
And your son is bringing life. You're bringing life to so many families out there, so many families who are serving in the IDF. One last message, if you have to tell everybody, what message would you say to say thank you to Dvir Chaim?
Thank you for the life you're giving us. Thank you for all the happiness that you're giving us. And we want to continue. We, with all the families and all Am Yisrael, we will be happy with one another. Happiness brings unity. That's all.
Yes, it does. And we are a slate of unity representing all of the strongest organizations, the 30 representing the Jewish people, the nation of Israel. Amihai, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. You're a true hero. I am sorry we had to meet like this, but you're a true hero, and thank you to you and your family. Remember, voteforisrael.com. I would personally, and am personally, asking each and every one of you to go to the website now, voteforisrael.com. Take upon yourself 5 votes, 10 votes. We have Albert Agrisi 1 vote, Glenn Richter 2 votes. We got Jacob Murmur 100 votes, Olga Murmur 100 votes. Tag teaming over here, making sure we're getting out the votes. The count keeps going up. Over 128,000 committed votes to make sure that we are successful. Voting starts Monday, March 10th, and goes to May 4th. I'm not begging, I'm asking you to do this for the Jewish people, for our country, our nation of Israel. We must succeed, we will succeed, we will win. I'm asking each and every one of you, become activists. Join our fight, which is your fight, for all of the Jewish people, all of Israel. And I want to say thank you for everybody who took it upon themselves to already take that commitment. Let's keep it going. Voteforisrael.com. Let's make sure we are stronger together, united as one under Slate 15. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And unity brings happiness. Remember, happiness brings unity.
Exactly. And we're going to throw it to a video. Let's go.
Tonight I stand before you proudly to accept the Theodore Herzl Medallion. To everyone here at the Zionist Organization of America, thank you for bestowing me with this incredible honor. The United States and Israel are not just allies on a military basis, but economically and politically we're allies morally, culturally, and spiritually, and we always will be. At least if I have anything to do about it, I will tell you. As president, I was proud to be the best friend. This has been stated by many, so I'm just repeating it, but the best friend the state of Israel has ever had in the White House. I think that's certain. Under my leadership, the alliance between the United States and Israel had never been stronger. The future of the Middle East had never been brighter. It never looked brighter. Hi, everybody. This is John Voight, the World Zionist Congress. What a wonderful gathering. I want to intrude just for a second to encourage you to vote for the ZOA coalition slate. And I believe it's number 15 on your list. And the reason why is because I know these people very well, and I don't think there's anyone stronger or more committed or more effective in the fight for Israel. The work you're doing there is just phenomenal. All of you folks, God bless you. And I'm sure he is. It's wonderful to know that you're at work. It's a very, very important time, of course. Much love.
Baby, yeah, vote, baby, yeah, vote, baby, yeah, vote, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen, you gotta go vote for ZOA Coalition. We got the record of doing it, fighting. We stand for truth daily and nightly. Will the hate stop? Depends if you go. Submit all the votes and together we'll glow. Fighters for Israel, head to battle. Light up the World Congress with our candles. Help Samaria and Judea. You gotta go vote, vote, vote today. 15, that's the slate we're on. Give us your vote and BDS is gone. ZOA Coalition leads the way. Defends the Jewish people every day. If there's a problem, give out a yelp. Check out a record of working to help. Vote, vote, baby. Yeah, vote, 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 baby. Yeah, slate 15, baby. Yeah, vote, 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 baby. ZOA Coalition. Yeah, we are on a mission. Vote, vote, baby. Yeah, slate 15, baby.
So a lot of you may or may not know this, but not only do I host the #1 radio show in New York City, but across the country, but I'm also an actor. I've been in 3 major motion pictures. I'm in a very popular Amazon Prime mob series right now. And the reason why I bring this up is the last time I shot my last movie, I shot it in Los Angeles about 18 months ago. And I stayed at the Beverly Hills Hilton, which is a gorgeous place. Now, of course, since then, California has been through some vicious tragedies. These latest fires that basically destroyed a lot of the area in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. All over the state of California, they have felt this. So it's my honor to bring on right now the rabbi in Beverly Hills who's lived through all of this. And it's not easy to make California great again, you folks know that. But he's part of ZOA. We're proud to have him. Rabbi Sid Rosenberg in New York, how are you tonight?
So wonderful to see you again, Sid, and it's wonderful to be able to talk to your audience and to talk to all those people who support the ZOA. It's critical, it's crucial that we get the vote out, because if we don't manage to get the numbers, then we won't have the seats in the WZO, and we won't be able to do the wonderful, the great things that we discussed earlier that need to be done for the Jewish people, not just for Israel, but for the Jewish people across the diaspora, across the Jewish world.
Across the whole world. And Rabbi Dunner, you know, I know you've got a British accent, I can tell. And my daughter, my one and only daughter, my oldest child, she goes to university in Wales. She goes to Cardiff University. Oh. So I go to London quite a bit, and I make that 90-minute fast train ride over to Wales. And I got to tell you, it's kind of our subject, but the amount of anti-Semitism in London, in the UK, in Wales. My daughter was doxxed the last visit we made to Israel. She was doxxed. She's gotten death threats. I've gotten death threats. Alan Dershowitz had to hire Anthony Julius, the attorney for Princess Diana, just to sue the school. So we talk about anti-Semitism, obviously in Israel. We've seen the attacks here at universities in the United States. But you're a UK guy, and you've got plenty of that in your own country.
Well, you know what? It's not just in the UK, Sid. I mean, of course, it's anti-Semitism since October 7th has reared its ugly head. It's always simmering below the surface. I don't need to tell you that. You come from Brooklyn. I'm sure you experienced it growing up. In one way or another, we remember that Rabbi Kahana was extremely strong on the streets to make sure that there were teams of Jewish kids who would protect Jewish neighborhoods, and how important that was. But now, since October 7th, it's reared its ugly head in a way that we've actually never seen in our lifetimes. And it's a completely new phenomenon for us. But we need to face it. We need to realize that Israel is our home. And without the protection of the army and the government and the country, the state of Israel, Jews across the world, doesn't matter where we are, but you're in New York, I'm in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, you may be in the UK, we are all afforded the protection of having a country so that our nation, as scattered as we are across the world, can hold our heads up proudly and say that our country is Israel. No one will ever take it away from us. And our protection, our identity is totally fortified by the existence of the state of Israel in a way that our grandparents and great-grandparents did not have when they suffered these same anti-Semitic attacks in the 20s and 30s leading up to the Holocaust. We will never let it happen again, and never again means never again. And now we have to fight. Just today, there was at CSUN, there was a speaker, Charlie Kirk. I'm sure you know who that is.
I know Charlie very well.
My son led a group of protesters. He's got the Iron Initiative, a group of kids who can be called to spot protests, counter the Palestinian, the pro-Palestinian, the communists, the lefties, who are trying to overwhelm us with their messaging, with anti-Semitism. They're funded by Qatar. They're funded by wealth from outside this country. They should be deported. They should be sanctioned. And anybody who's involved in this anti-Semitism needs to be identified and needs to be treated in the way that ought to be done by the law.
I will tell you this, Rabbi, you brought up Rabbi Kahani, and you brought up the ADL. You know, when I was a kid in Brooklyn, I mentioned this earlier in tonight's rally, the ADL were the tough guys, you know, Rabbi, and the JDL were tough guys.
The JDL, not the ADL, the JDL.
The JDL were very tough. They bash your base. And no, even the ADL was different, you know, going back all those years ago. But, you know, I just did a story with a young lady named Linda Sadako, who's part of our group here, for the World Israel News just last Sunday. And the interview, she interviewed me, and I basically said, I need the Jewish people to be tougher. This is where groups like ZOA are so important, because we're not afraid of anything. We're not intimidated by anybody. We only want to make sure the Jews are going to be safe and happy. But as a whole, Rabbi, I think you'd agree, the Jewish people around the world, we need to get tougher, no?
We definitely do. You know, I brought here to show to your audience books that I have on my shelf. This is Menachem Begin's book, White Knights. Menachem Begin, one of our heroes. And here is the most important book, The Revolt by Menachem Begin, in which he writes exactly what the feelings need to be in this the Zionist movement began in 1897, Theodor Herzl, but they were softies. And it took the revisionist Vladimir Jabotinsky, Menachem Begin, and all the people around the Irgun Tzvai Leumi Etzel to bring the state of Israel into being and to make sure that Jews could stand up proud, be who they needed to be against their enemies. There will always be enemies. Sid, there's always going to be enemies. There's always going to be those who hate Jews. They blame us for this. They blame us for that. It makes no difference. They'll always hate us. But we shouldn't cower behind the fence. We shouldn't go to them and say to them, what can we do to make you happy? We're never going to make them happy. The only thing that they understand is strength, and we must be strong. The ZOA is a broad tent. You don't need to be religious. I'm an Orthodox Jew. You don't need to be Orthodox to vote for the ZOA. And you don't need to be non-Orthodox to vote for the ZOA. Everybody, it's a broad tent. As we heard earlier on in the short video clip, you can be Sephardi, you can be Ashkenazi, you can be in Brooklyn, you can be in Los Angeles, you can be in the UK, you can be wherever you are. And I want all of your audience members to think of 10, 20, 30 friends who need to be voting for Slate 15 in the WZO to make sure that we get the votes that we need. I want you to make those calls. I want you to send those texts. I want you to contact those people to make sure that they register and they vote, and their vote counts, so that we get the number of seats that we need to make our voices heard, and that they feel the strength of the ZOA in the WZO, and that we can make our voices heard in a way that will make a difference for the Jewish people and for the state of Israel.
I need more guys like you on the East Coast, Rabbi. I'm begging you. I mean, you know, I was at a shul on Park Avenue a couple of weeks ago. You'll appreciate this. They renamed the street Yad Vashem Way. It was lovely. Then I went inside the shul, and there were 5 liberals who spoke. I had to walk out midway through the whole ceremony. They're Jewish people, but they just don't share the same values that I do. And just to show you to emphasize your point about it doesn't matter what type of Jew you are, I was bar mitzvahed in a Reformed temple. I grew up a basically Reformed Jew in Brooklyn, New York. Now, of course, since October the 7th, I become an animal. And this is all I really talk about and care about, is protecting Jewish people as best as I can in the city.
We're the Jewish people. Sid, we're the Jewish people. And unfortunately, that those who are liberal-minded, progressive-minded have abandoned their roots. They've abandoned their heritage.
Right.
They've abandoned their Jewish legacy. And they feel that they need to be apologetic for their Jewish identity. We don't need to apologize. We've got nothing to apologize for. We are a 3,500-year-old people. We have survived every single attack that they've thrown against us. We will continue to survive. And now that we've got our state, we'll never let it go. We will fight for it proudly. We have somebody now in the White House who is speaking up for the Jewish people, sometimes more loudly than the Jews do, unfortunately. But we back him all the way. We have the voice. We must get heard. And we must make sure, don't sit there and watch Rabbi Dunner and watch Sid and think to yourself, oh, it's so lovely what they're saying. It sounds so great, but I can't do anything. Absolutely not. You can make a difference. You, every single person watching this can make a difference. Phone up your friends, text your friends, email your friends, say, why aren't you registered for Slate 15 of the WZO election? Make sure that what's in your heart, what's in your head, what you believe is going to be the action that the Jewish people take for themselves and for the Jewish world.
What a great message, Rabbi Dunner. You are a spectacular, not good, a spectacular guest and friend here tonight. Thank you so much. You heard the rabbi. Slate 15, ZOA, voting starts midnight Sunday into Monday morning. We're already getting a whole bunch of folks committed to doing a whole bunch of voting. Rabbi, thank you so much.
Bottom of the screen. I'm watching it flow to the bottom of the screen. I'm so delighted for all of you. Thank you to all those who've already committed. Now we need more of you. Get on there and do what you need to do.
God bless you, Rabbi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sid. Bye-bye.
There's still hope for California. Look at that. Who knew, right? I mean, Kamala Harris comes from California. But the rabbi did a fantastic job right there. We've got more guests before we wrap this wonderful rally up. We're going to toss it over now to a video, I think. Let's do this. Let's check out this latest video, then two more live guests before we call it quits.
שלום, אני רב סרן יגאל ברנד, ראש המחלקה לעברית ותרבות בהסתדרות הציונית העולמית ומנכ"ל תנועת בית"ר העולמית. לחמתי בעזה חצי שנה ועוד כמה חודשים בלבנון. הצביעו ל-ZOA Coalition, הצביעו לסלייט 15, הצביעו למען ארץ ישראל, למען עם ישראל. תנו לנו להמשיך לשמור על הערכים של ארץ ישראל.
What if you could build a future where we don't have to wonder if our children will be safe? Now you can really help. ZOA, our coalition partners, and World Likud, don't bow. There is no two-state solution, only one strong Israel. In Israel's darkest hour, the ZOA coalition delivered over $50 million in aid, funding critical equipment for soldiers, supporting families, and fighting anti-Semitism on 100-plus university campuses, in Congress, and in courtrooms. Today, we have a moment we can't waste. The ZOA Coalition, 30-plus of the strongest pro-Israel organizations, won't back down. We'll secure a future where Israel is strong, safe, and sovereign over all its land. This is the moment. This is the fight. Vote for ZOA Coalition. Vote Slate 15. Vote for Israel.
My name is Evgeny Milman, and I'm a professor of mathematics at City University of New York. I'm also a proud candidate to represent the ZOA, the Zionist Organization of America, at the World Zionist Congress this October. We lead a coalition with the 30 other strongest pro-Israel organizations in the United States. ZOA was at the very first World Zionist Congress in 1897. It was the first U.S. pro-Israel organization which helped to secure the right of Jewish people to establish our country in Eretz Israel. I became part of this coalition due to my concern for anti-Semitism on college campuses, which spiked after the barbarian attack of terrorists from Gaza. I witnessed and I'm continuing to witness the pro-Hamas gatherings, marches, online harassment with goal to intimidate our students, faculty, and staff. We cannot remain silent. We must fight back. We have the law, we have God on our side. The way you can help is to vote for our coalition, ZOA. It's late number 15. Help us lead the way to defend our land and not accept any compromises. We are Jews and we stand united in our love for Israel. This is the moment. This is the fight. Vote for the ZOA coalition. Vote slate number 15. Vote for Israel.
Hi, we've heard from some of our coalition partners tonight, but we wanted to make sure to honor every single one of our coalition partner organizations while we're here.
Let's start with this one. This one is easy. It is a Zionist organization, I should say, of America. That's us, ZOA.
And Amihai.
American Friends of Ateret Kohanim. Those are my friends Dov and Shani Hiking.
American Friends of Judea and Samaria.
American Friends of Likud.
Americans Against Anti-Semitism, and that's Dov Hiking.
Yes, that's right. Americans for a Safe Israel, AFSI.
And our friend Judy. Americans for Peace and Tolerance, that's Dr. Charles Jacobs' group.
You got more friends than me. Bam! Bad A Mothers.
The TAR.
That's my friend Ronnie Teresian. There you go. Now, if I pronounce this one incorrectly, you do it.
I'll do it. Chovevei Tzion.
Is that your friend too?
They're all our friends.
Emet Va'amuna.
And Jew Hatred, and our great friend Brooke.
And David and Ben.
Yes.
Ezra USA, Russian Jewish Youth.
Israel Heritage Foundation.
Liz, the JCC Watch.
Jew Hate Database.
Oh, that's really Ben and David, actually.
Oh, wait, that one's new. That one just joined us. So if your organization also wants to join us, let us know.
My friend Michelle Lubin Terrace down in Boca Raton and Siggy Flicker, Jexit.
Yay. National Jewish Advocacy Center.
Liz, this one is NORPAC.
North Carolina Coalition for Israel, which has been doing amazing work in North Carolina.
Every time I go to Israel, third time coming up in 13 months, these guys pay for it. They do a great job. Scott Beltman, Yehuda Honickman, Gabriel Boxer, Eve Harrow, Mark Provosar, the whole crew, my dear friends at One Israel Fund.
The Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce.
Reader's Family Foundation.
Save the West and our good friend Ken Abramowitz.
And we just spoke to Valeria earlier tonight. This is Students Supporting Israel.
The Lawfare Project.
The Greenwald Family Impact Foundation, otherwise known as TGFIF.
The Gross Family Center for the Study of Anti-Semitism and the Holocaust.
Our friends at the Israel Innovation Fund.
The United Mashadi Jewish Community of America.
And, of course, the Young Jewish Conservatives.
And ZOA Coalition is also endorsed by World Likud.
There you have it. That's my friend Liz Pipko and all those folks. And Linda Sadaka does a terrific job.
Absolutely. She's great.
You were great tonight, Liz Burney. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This was actually a lot of fun. Let me bring up one more live guest. She's got a message for the audience as well. She's got one name. She's like Madonna. She's like Cher. It's Basia. How are you?
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
It went well tonight?
I'm so inspired by all these voices. I feel like there's so many voices out there. Look how many people have contributed and saying that they're going to pledge to get out the vote. What I want to say is I know that we're not typically in get out the vote mode, but we're up against a lot of competition. And each one of us have so many people in our network. I want everybody to look at the next few weeks and say, hey, these are the contacts we've got to get out the vote to. And everyone needs to be contagious because the first week is essential. When you have all this competition out there, if we don't get our friends to convert, if we don't get them to vote, they will go with another slate. And you've heard from Liz Burney, you've heard from Sid. This is a huge coalition of fighters that 24/7, prior to October 7th, they've been fighting for every Jew, every soldier, and every inch of our land. So, friends, I'm excited to have you on the same team. Together, we will win this election.
That is a great message. And you're right. Just so you know, I'm one of those folks that actually converted. I was drafted, like the NFL draft, by another group. I quit. I came to these guys, and let me tell you, this was one of the proudest moments tonight being a part of this.
Thank you.
Of my life as a Jewish person. Thank you so much. You're terrific too, by the way. We got a great song coming up, folks, but again, you heard the message. It all starts Sunday night at midnight into Monday morning, your chance to vote. Many of you already made commitments tonight in big, big numbers. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. But Monday morning is your chance to make sure that ZOA wins. And when we win, I can promise you, whether you're in Judea and Samaria right now, Haifa, Netanya, or Brooklyn, New York, you're going to be one very happy Jew. Let me get Benny Kogan out here. This is another hero. You heard from Ben earlier tonight. He played a wonderful song for us. And on the way out, we're going to hear one more song. But one more time, folks, Monday morning, vote ZOA. If Sid Rosenberg loves it, and I think Trump loves it too, if we love it, then you love it. And I love you.
Love it.
You're a strong
guy. We love the people of Israel, and we love the Jewish people, and this is why we do it.
Take it away.
All right.
Tonight I stand before you proudly to accept the Theodore Herzl Medallion. To everyone here at the Zionist Organization of America, thank you for bestowing me with this incredible honor. The United States and Israel are not just allies on a military basis, but economically and politically we're allies morally, culturally, and spiritually, and we always will be. At least if I have anything to do about it, I will tell you. As president, I was proud to be the best friend. This has been stated by many, so I'm just repeating it, but the best friend the state of Israel has ever had in the White House. I think that's certain. Under my leadership, the alliance between the United States and Israel had never been stronger. The future of the Middle East had never been brighter, it never looked brighter.
The ZOA is the premier organization of advocacy for the rights of Jews to live securely in their indigenous homeland of Israel. Please welcome the president of the ZOA, Morton Klein. Morton, so glad to have you here.
Good to be with you.
The horrific terrorist attack on the Jewish people of Israel has shaken the world, but yet we see these crazy things happening, especially on the most elite college campuses, where people act like they're supporting Hamas, and it's Israel's fault. This has to be troubling for you as a Jewish leader.
It is shocking. And one of the reasons this is happening, I believe, is that the students, the kids, and really many people in America do not know the truth of the Arab-Islamic war against Israel, the Jews, and the West. They believe that Israel stole this land from a sovereign Arab country called Palestine. There's never been an Arab country called Palestine. It was a region. In fact, Palestine is a Roman name. So the issue is not about land. It's not about statehood. It's about destroying Israel.
If I didn't start off with a boom shakalaka, Scott Fellman would be texting me and telling me, Gabe, what did you do? I am Sid. No, I'm not. Wait, you got to do that.
Oh, I guess that's me. You're right. That's the great kosher guru, Gabriel Boxer. I'm WABC Morning Show host Sid Rosenberg. And this is the great musical stylings of a real hero and a ZOA delegate, our dear friend, Ben Kogan.
We had an amazing show. There is so much given over to you tonight. So many of you have stood up, have already made a commitment. And if you haven't, voteforisrael.com is the website you want to go to. Get involved. Get a part of it. Over the next few days, few weeks, you're going to be getting text messages, WhatsApp messages, emails. But you know what? Don't worry about how many they are, because each and every one is so important for us to get to the victory we need. ZOA Slate 15 is the most important slate on the World Zionist Congress voting, and you are going to want to vote for Slate 15. Sid, what does Slate 15 after all this mean to you?
I got to tell you the God's honest truth, it means everything. I mean, I was a little tired when I arrived here tonight. I didn't know a lot about this group when I got here literally 5 hours ago. And doing my homework before we actually came up on this stage tonight, and then speaking to wonderful people like you, Gabriel, and Liz, and Rachel, and of course Morty, he was terrific, and the rabbi out in Beverly Hills. What an incredible group of people. So when you ask me, what does ZOA mean to me? At this point, it means everything. And all the things I've done since October the 7th for Israel and for Jews in the United States, as you know, Gabriel, this right here tonight may have very well jumped to the top of the list.
We thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight, who are going to be watching over the next few weeks, making sure you sign up, voteforisrael.com, and making sure then, when voting starts on Monday, March 10th, that you actually go and vote. And you call your neighbors, your friends. You see someone in synagogue, in shul, at your work, at your office, in the local supermarket. Talk to them about it. Ask them to vote. Send them the link. Explain to them the importance, what it means for the Jewish people, for Israel. There is so much at stake here, and we need each and every one of you to do your part. Like Sid's doing his part, I'm doing my part, Ben is doing his part, and this is going to be an amazing victory for Slate 15 with each and every one of you partaking in it. Ain't that right, Sid?
It is right, and there's so much at stake. You know, we talked tonight so much, Gabriel. It's something you and I work very closely with One Israel Fund, Scott Feltman, making sure that there's sovereignty in Judea and Samaria is so important. This is the only group, Morty told you, this is the only group that wants to make sure that's the case, and thank God President Trump talked about that just yesterday. Worried about the health of the soldiers. That's a big deal. No one ever talks about that. They talk a lot about the hostages. God bless them. They talk a lot about the victims on October the 7th. Who talks soldiers? We do, ZOA. So just these last 2 hours, such an eye-opener for Jews like me, because they talk about the things, this group, that very few people talk about, that, believe it or not, are the most important things for the survival of Israel and the Jewish community. This, my friends, and Sid Rosenberg, you know, tells the truth. I'm not afraid. They kicked me out of the State of the Union. Joe Biden nearly had me arrested. That's a true story just last year, because they had the nerve to question him.
Thank God that Congressman Anthony D'Esposito saved
me. But the point is, I tell the truth, and I'm telling you, this opened my eyes today. There is no reason to even think about another slate, another group. Come Monday morning, vote ZOA.
Don't make me say it again. Voteforisrael.com. Go there now. And you know what? To embed this message further into everyone listening, we are going to end off an amazing evening with the one and only talented Ben Kogan taking away with a beautiful musical song for all of you out there.
Israel is under attack, not only by rockets but with shameful lies. The monsters from tunnels occupied our streets, and they don't give a damn about US or police. They burn US flags and vandalize our schools, attack random people just because they are Jews. They cowardly cover their face with a mask. They bring in destruction and hate to the West. Impunity is what emboldens those goons. Their action is sponsored by liberal fools. Enough is enough, and our time has come. You can end this nonsense by voting now. Vote the baby. Vote the baby. ZOA, baby. Slate 15, baby. No excuses or maybe. Go out and vote, baby. Slate 15. Vote, baby. Fight, baby. ZOA, baby. Slate 15, baby. It's either break it or make it. We fight, we will and await it. Slate 15. So don't sit and wait. Take action, get involved. For Zionist Congress. Vote. When we united, we always win. Remember Masada and Hashmonaim. For Eretz HaKodesh, we have God-given right. We received our Torah on Mount Sinai. For 3,000 years, this light showed us way. And I scream from my light, Shema Israel!